Hello, this is Freethought Forum, a program by the Atheist Society of Knoxville and the Rationalists of East Tennessee. I'm Dale Haste.
And I'm Larry Rhodes, and we want you to know that if you don't believe in God, you're not alone. Today we're going to be speaking about the intrusive religion services in the military, of the nation's military. We go over a few announcements. First of all, we will invite you to start calling in now on the number on the screen, 215-2288. And as you call, we have a few announcements of upcoming activities. There will be a happy hour at the Atheist Society of Knoxville, or sponsored by the Atheist Society of Knoxville, at the Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria downtown in the Old City. It's started right now. It usually starts around 5:30, and we will go down there after the show, the cast and crew, for food, drink, and conversation. We will have a meetup on Wednesday, December 1st, for conversations at Carrabba's at the same time. Look for the silver-jacketed copy of the God Delusion standing upright on the table.
Okay, I'd like to discuss some of the upcoming events for Rationalists of East Tennessee, or RET as we fondly know it. On December 5th at Pellissippi State Community College, Hardin Valley campus, there's going to be a lecture and discussion. It's going to be led by Dr. Joseph H. Williams. He's going to be speaking on the evolutionary history of flowers. Then on December 12th, 4 p.m. at Barnes & Noble, we're going to have our monthly book club meeting. This month we're going to be discussing the book The Godless Constitution by Kramnik and Moore. And we invite anyone interested in that topic to come and join us at Barnes & Noble. You do not have to have read the book to come to the book club discussion. Finally, on December 18th this month, we're going to have our annual solstice party, celebrating the winter solstice as we do every year. The inevitable return to longer days. Solar mechanics, 'tis the reason for the season.
And the reason we've been celebrating this particular time of the year for millennia, which has been pretty much confiscated by the religions of the world, saying it's their holiday, their particular holiday, when it really was just the fact that the days are shortest. It's the shortest that they're going to get, and then after the December 25th, they'll start getting longer again. Which is the real reason for the celebration.
Absolutely right. And so we invite viewers to visit the websites that they see on the screens to find out more information for times and locations, things like that.
Mm-hmm. We remind you that you can watch the show online at ctvknox.org. You can see it there on the right side of your screen. Look for the purple window. You scroll down about a screen, you'll see the purple window. Wait a few seconds and it'll start streaming. The show is live online, and you can see it. I think it's on Comcast Channel 12 in Knoxville, but all around the world it'll be right there on that screen.
Thanks. So, for our program today, we're going to be talking about religion in the military. We wanted to address some of the dangers that we feel that religion brings to the military, to the nation's security, and some of the insults and lies that non-believers continually have to suffer at the hands of others. As we already mentioned, we would very much like to take calls, especially this evening, if there are any atheists who have served in the military, if you've been in foxholes or not.
Or if you're currently in the military.
Certainly.
We have members of the Atheist Society of Knoxville who have just returned from Iran and Iraq, and have just, Iraq, not Iran, but have given not quite the full measure. They have taken off a lot of damage. They have a lot of post-traumatic stress syndrome, but they also have a lot of physical damage as well. But then most of the people in the military will just deny that they ever existed or ever defended our government. That's a hard shot to take if you've been over there doing that for your country.
Definitely. Did you want to review some of the background on atheism?
Okay. As a reminder, as atheists, we do not believe in any God, and there are so many gods to believe in. There's 10,000 gods, I think, that are being currently worshipped in the world today. And as a kind of an aside, there are over 1,000 Christian denominations in America, half of which will say that the other half are not true Christians and are going to hell. We do not believe in Thor, Isis. We don't believe in Mot. We don't believe that Thor hurls lightnings. How many of the other 10,000 gods in the world do you not believe in? We simply go one God farther and say none of them are real.
In the same way, we don't believe in angels or demons or ghosts, the devil or his partner Jehovah.
Some people would say, and preachers have said, that we worship Satan. But Satan is a part of Christianity. It's one of the many magical beings that exist in the Bible that Christians have to buy into. But, atheists don't buy into those any more than they buy into the many-armed Shiva of
Hinduism,
or any of the other fantastic creatures of the religions of the world. We believe that these gods are a product of human imagination and that they are all make-believe.
We also believe that prayer can be worse than useless, since it diverts valuable time and human attention and reason away from finding actual solutions to problems.
In dangerous situations which can occur in our nation's defense, we believe it is inviting disaster for people and nations to rely on make-believe when making literal life and death decisions. One of the things we'll be talking today will be about the death of Pat Tillman. Pat Tillman was an atheist in a foxhole. He was there in Iraq defending his country, and he died of friendly fire. He was an avowed atheist, and there are some that believe he was killed by friendly fire because he was berating a religious teammate who was praying at the time of the firefight and not helping win the battle or even fight for his country. And some of his teammates took exception to that and killed him. But we'll be talking about that later. There are other insults and lies, especially that Christians toss as if it were nothing. And I say there are no atheists in foxholes or on airplanes or in the Navy. And we know for a fact there are actual Navy and military associations. We'll get to those. Okay, now, would you like to mention a couple?
Sure. Maybe the first one to mention is the Military Association of Atheists and Freethinkers. Viewers can visit that website at maaf.info. They have information there that is of interest to service members who are not of a religious bent themselves. They tend to gather a lot of good information together. I can't remember if that's the website where I was reading about a collection of comments that they solicited from chaplains, military chaplains, and specifically about the phrase, there are no atheists in foxholes. And I think there were perhaps only 3 that they collected in total from chaplains who were willing to admit from their experience that, yes, there are indeed atheists who maintain their belief system in the face of danger and hardship.
I went on YouTube just today and looked up atheists in foxholes, and there was a little snippet. You could find it easily. It says, I think it was Fox News, and it said atheists in foxhole, and there was the guy with the mustache, the reporter.
Geraldo Rivera?
Yeah, Geraldo Rivera was interviewing one of the chaplains. They were there for some kind of military celebration, Thanksgiving. And he asked him, well, indeed, there are no atheists in foxholes. Isn't that true? He said, oh, yeah, that's true. There are no atheists in foxholes, especially today, blah, 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 blah. But apparently these organizations that we're mentioning here have no members. These are people like the MRFF, the Military Religious Freedom Foundation. These are people who are not only strong, but they're growing in membership all the time because people are learning about them. The thing about atheists is religions tend to try to keep them isolated. They don't like them to talk about it. They don't like their members to talk to them. They shun them if the subject comes up. They find out that their member is atheist. So just the fact that the internet is out there nowadays, and we're able to make contact with each other, organize, have our voice heard, like in this TV show. And there's also a Freedom from Religion Foundation weekly podcast. There are all kinds of podcasts now.
Right.
There's a new saying that the internet is the place where religions go to die. We'll just happen to wait and see on that. But
right.
The Freethought movement is large and growing every year.
Right. Larry, you mentioned the idea of individuals wanting to keep free thinkers and atheists from getting together, from congregating with each other. I heard about what was to me a very troubling incident that occurred overseas, either in Iraq or Afghanistan, I forget which now. But some young soldiers had decided to try to find like-minded free thinkers, and they arranged a meeting where they could get together. And the meeting was essentially crashed by a senior officer who was there to really berate them for having the audacity to try to do that. And he was calling them un-American and unpatriotic and siding with the enemy and other horrible affronts like that.
And the really bad part about this type of thing in the military is you can't quit. You have to answer to these superiors on a daily basis. And if they decide that they want to make your life hell on earth, they can do it. Not only that, but what are the chances that you would want to make your military your life? And a lot of people would like to do that, but they don't want to face this kind of intimidation, insult, slander on a daily basis from their superiors.
Right.
I understand that Annapolis is really particularly bad right now because of the evangelical bent that the cadets are having to face on a day-to-day basis there.
Is it possible you're thinking of the Air Force Academy instead of Annapolis?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I have heard bad things about the Air Force Academy in particular. They've had some issues within the last 5 or 6 years, bad things there.
For instance, they place a cross on a pagan worship site. That brings us, excuse me, to the slide that I wanted to show on military chaplains. This is going to be hard to see. It's rather large, but I had to get it large for you to be able to read it at all. If you can see the top one, the green says Catholic, Roman Catholic. The second one is other Christians, and the third is evangelicals, which include Christian organizations such as Seventh-day Adventists, Jehovah's Witnesses, etc. Now, all these top three are Christian organizations, and this chart speaks to chaplains in the service. Now, if you're one of these three Christian organizations, or one of these many Christian organizations, you can see from the bottom pie chart that you have pretty well represented. You're pretty well represented by the chaplaincy in the military.
The bottom pie chart indicating the chaplaincy.
The number of chaplains and how the chaplains break down in the military. You can see a little gray slice there represents 2%. That's other religions. Now, if you look at the top pie chart, that's all of the personnel in the Department of Defense. The blue, as you can see in the bottom, right about there, is atheists or others. Those who have no religion, they're agnostic, they say they're atheist or agnostic. 24% of all the people in the Department of Defense are atheists. Do you see anybody in the bottom who offers them support in the areas that chaplaincy would? True, chaplains provide religious services, but they also provide a myriad of other services to the military. Counseling, family and hospital liaison services, educational liaison services with colleges and other educational facilities. They perform weddings and funerals. They coordinate retreats for R&R, for the rest and relaxation needs of the servicemen. And they provide encouragement and other services for soldiers suffering from PTS, post-traumatic stress syndrome, and depression. None of these last services are offered to atheists or non-believers in the military. We need to, if we're going to have the government paying for religious instructors and religious representation in the military, we need to lobby somehow for at least these type of services to be offered to the non-believers as well.
Right, right. And one thing I would like to stress, I don't want to speak for the group, but I mean to speak for myself personally, is that I would never advocate that